slot car talk going on. Give me a sec to start the stream. Going live. We are live. Alrighty, Worldwide Slot Car Chat on Zoom. Let's do it. Anybody got show and tell to do? Raise your hand. Let's talk show and tell. Just as a reminder, the applications for Worldwide Slot Car Chat on Zoom hosts are still open. I've put the link in the video description already. So click that and fill it out and send it in, and we'll get you on the roster.
I'll be no good at that.
I don't see anybody holding up their hand for show and tell. Mr. Weber,
I've got something for Dennis if he's here.
I don't see Dennis yet. Wait. No. Maybe later. But you can still show it anyway, so you can watch it later.
No, it's only I've got him. He's been after these. These are the model car magazines. He was more mixing.
And you're going to ship those off?
Yeah. I've been a bit behind on things lately. You got all that one. It's about 5 of them he was missing. So they definitely smell like the 60s and 70s.
Oil.
But it's the prices in them. It's like the cock stuff in here. I wish I could go back in time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, so you're talking about 5 shillings and 6pence for a car.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is what? 5 shillings is 25, 26, 27.5 pence for a car back in 19.
So, hold on, Paul. That's the old British money system, right? Yeah. Wow.
5 shillings is 25 pence. 6pence is 2.5 pence. Well, I haven't even got the halfpenny anymore, so it's 27 pence.
Well, if you really want to be depressed, that means that everybody on this call remembers that system. That's even wow.
But it's an eye opener, and some of the stuff that they've done, and I mean, say, look, the new American Rebels.
Yeah, the equivalent is like the car model magazines I got from that model show. You look at the prices and you weep. It's like opening up an old road and track where there's somebody selling a Ferrari 250 for well, we're asking $7,000. Like, oh, you crazy?
But I'd love to have gone back in them days. Definitely, I'll go back with big suitcases.
Yeah, but that's if you could take the money you have today back. There's the caveat.
Yeah, I'll pay on my access card.
All right. I'm sure Dennis will look forward to getting those. Let's see what Tony got in the mail today. What you got, Tony? You're muted still.
I've got nothing in the mail. I just got a question for Jerry.
Okay.
Jerry, I looked at your video of the rolling road. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Jeremy.
You talking about Jeremy?
Yeah, Jeremy.
Sorry, close enough. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Your rolling road.
Yeah.
I looked at the picture on the eBay, and it didn't have the sponge on the picture. Does it come with the sponge ones?
Well, I haven't started selling. I've got one right here. I haven't started putting them up on the page yet. I'm gonna have that as a separate add-on. But okay. Yeah, they're available. I just don't like the sponge as much as I like the metal roller.
Okay. Now, regarding the eBay, it said on the eBay site, it's not delivering to the UK.
That's not on my end. I put it up for. No, I'm saying I put it up for free shipping on eBay, and eBay has an international program where I ship it to eBay in Chicago. Chicago then sends it to, let's say, Australia, eBay in Australia. And then as the customer on the end, you pay to ship it from eBay Australia to your house in Australia. But that's set up by each country. And for some reason, the UK is really obnoxious with this. And I haven't been able to get anything through to people in the UK. But I've sent it everywhere else. Like Canada's been the easiest, but Canada's pretty easy. Australia was easy. I think even Romania one time was pretty easy. But something in the UK, they just don't want you to have less shipping costs.
That's because we've left the EU and the post office has got to make their money on it. I just had some parcels coming from the US and
Yeah, I don't know.
they put like stupid prices on the import.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
if I try to
that's-
if I try to
I-
do like the worldwide shipping and send it from my house straight to the UK, I can, but the costs are insane. And so then I thought, oh, let's use this new eBay program. But UK is like, not today, son. So,
Well, Jeremy, if you want, and especially if this is just for Tony, and since we're talking with each other, we don't necessarily have to go through eBay. If you wanted to ship it to me in Canada, and then I can ship it to Tony.
yeah, well, after the chat, we'll talk a little.
Okay, we'll chat after the
If-
chat.
Sure.
As
I
usual.
quite
Slot car
like
chat
it.
after hours.
I quite like the system. It's quite nice. So,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with one too.
all right, that's me done.
All right, thanks, Tony. And then Mr. Weber, what you got?
Yeah, I think some folks have rightly accused me of being a rivet counter in the past. Well, I'm earning that now. So I've got this, this gizmo. It's made by Trumpeter, who makes lots of airplane models, war machine models, stuff like that. I'm not sure they make a lot of car models, but maybe they do. Anyway, it's a rivet maker. You got these little stainless steel wheels that fit in this handle, and you kind of roll it along like a pizza cutter, and it makes little divots in the surface of whatever you're putting in, and those are apparently look quite a bit like rivets. So anyway, that's my show and tell for today.
Well, be sure and put in the right wheel because you wouldn't want the wrong number of rivets in those lines of rivets.
That's exactly right. And I've been pondering that. At what scale do I do these rivets? Well, it depends on how many rivets they put in the vehicle. So
Yeah.
You're gonna have to take the number of rivets and like divide by pi and then scale it down to 1/32. It's gonna be a whole process here for you, John.
Actually, John, if that's used for like aviation modelers,
yes.
I'm sure. Yeah, then I'm sure there's a 1/32 scale rivet.
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah. Because
1/35 or 1/35, somewhere there.
Well, the
Well,
closest
no,
would be
no.
the 135th,
Right,
isn't it, for the
1/32.
American?
1/35 would be for armor, but a
Yeah.
lot of
Right.
aircraft is 1/32.
It comes with 4 wheels designated A, B, C, D, and let's see, D has the widest spacing. Apparently A is tightest spacing, but I don't think it makes much difference. It depends on how you use them, where you put them, and what kind of car you're putting them on, what kind of body you're putting them on. It's not going to make much difference. So,
By the way, I like your pop-up headlights.
oh yeah, that's the audio track of that is there it is, that hip hop kind of thing. Anyway, yeah. I like it too. Thanks.
So do the race cars that had riveted body parts use the same spacing and size as airplanes at the time?
Well, there's
Yeah,
a good
because-
question.
Well, I know for Formula One, at least for Lotus, yeah, because those guys are all ex-aviators, so I'm sure they followed the same sort of pattern and distance. Yeah, it'd be pretty darn
Yeah.
close.
And it depends. What was it I was reading? Came up with the Turing or Pininfarina or Bertone or somebody came up with this system where the body is made of steel tubes, relatively small diameter, maybe chromoly steel tubes or something bent to shape, and then they rivet the body onto that, the aluminum. They rivet that onto those steel.
Yeah, even Cobra's had that. I think the 427s, the competition ones, I think had bodies and chassis like that. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they made aluminum bodies that they fitted just like steel bodies, but the Alfa Romeo Giulia GTA that I worked on had the sheet aluminum roof and things like that they were riveted onto the steel the standard production steel underbody.
And to your point, John, the lightweight XKE, you know, with the odd sort of body, they had rivets all over the body as well.
Yeah. It's real incredible.
Don't they? Do those wheels? Don't they say what scales they are on those wheels? Surely they would tell you what's how many rivets and what scale that would be used for on the wheels.
No, they don't say what scale it is. You know, like move the blade along the material you're using, as in the picture. So, yeah, there are 4 different spacing designs. Nope. You know, people use them on the Gundams and whatever, Robo Macross or whatever. You know, they use them on those ones too. But so it's just a general use thing. I think they're kind of interesting. It took almost 2 weeks to get the thing from Indiana. I think it came. What is that? I could almost got it in China fast. Of course, it was made in China. Anyway, that's all I have.
All right. Thanks for showing an interesting tool.
Thank you.
Gio's got his hand up. Go ahead, Gio.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys have already showed some of these ones, but so this is the sideways M4. So only the white kit is available at the moment, as most I think of the GT3 cars. So pretty nice model in terms of level of details. I think, I don't know, the highlights, I believe, I don't know if you've seen the real car, but the exhaust pipe that comes on the side, it's pretty well detailed for a slot car. So you can see down here, this small piece over here, it goes on the side of the car like the real one. Another thing, I mean, talking about the rivet counting, I don't know why, but they are giving 2 different kind of inserts. I just realized while I was working on them, but anyway, I mean, just moving. So this one should be the correct ones, and this one I think are 2 older ones, but they're giving 2 different types. I don't believe I've seen. Try to look at the picture of the car. I mean, they look pretty similar. I look at the picture of the rear cars and believe that these are the correct ones, and there is no difference between front and back or left and right. But anyway, so just kind of minute things that I like to look at. I mean, it's a big car. So looking at the weight, so if you don't care about weight reduction, you can leave now or do something else. So body-wise, I mean, considering just the main shell is around 12 grams, which brings everything included, all the details, to almost 18.5 actually. So and this is excluding the interior only. So putting the Lexan interior is another gram and something, let's say. So it will be around the over 19 grams. So for ideal GT3 cars that we raise over here, the weight should be around 90 grams, roughly, including also lights, of course. So basically, I need to kind of reduce some of the weight. I mean, it's not a huge amount of work. There is pretty kind of a lot of plastic that you can remove, especially from the rear. So losing 1 gram it's not huge. Does not take long actually. And then you can remove bits and bolts and the other 2 in the front and the rear part. So they are 2 different pieces. The rear one is pretty easy. The front one, I didn't mess around with it too much. So because there are a lot of details as you can see, so I just left it as untouched, I would say. The other thing that also like to reduce weight is on the rear wing. I mean, you can buy the rubber one, but you can put decals. So if you what you can do is take the original one, so that is at standing at 1.1 gram, and you can move it down to half of it. So again, it's not a huge amount of work, and it's worth it, I think, for the level of details. If you want, then you can also make rubber mounts and then mounting the wing on rubber mounts. But usually, I'm not gonna. I mean, for racing here, my truck, I'm not bothering with that. And so far, the Acura, the Conti, for instance, have been kind of resisting, or are still intact, let's say, after many battles. When you're that, so this is a kind of the preparation for painting. I mean, I've not done the painting yet. I'm not completed. I've not completed the painting. I will show later on which are the kind of liveries that I choose for, because I have two models actually I'm working on. So this one was the one for preparing for painting, spraying black. So what I'm doing, and I think I've kind of improved my masking at the moment, is to kind of first doing like cutting everything in small strips, and then do the kind of major details, and then cover up with other small pieces of tape that I cut and put to wherever I need. And usually the masking has been pretty successful with very minor issues. Of course, I'm working on the lights. So the lights, these are the front elements, come with some inserts that I'm kind of you can cut, and and you can put LEDs between them. For Jeremy's pleasure, basically I will have one session just of how to install LEDs one by one. Jeremy, just for you. Looking at the windows parts, I mean, usually I don't like to vacuum parts for windows, especially when it's for sideways cars, because they already come with a nice, mask. I mean, the black contours are already there and they look pretty nice. But if you see, it's 1.71 grams, which is quite a lot. So I decided to go for it. And so these are the results. So basically, yeah, it's 1.3 grams that you can lose easily from the back, right? Especially on the back is pretty important. Excuse the pubic hair here, but I was doing something else. So this is the approach that I take for kind of masking, as I said before. So basically what I do, I first try to, cut a very small, very thin piece of tape and do the main contour that I want. So the idea of having these small stripes is that allows you to do it's much more flexible, so you can do the contours pretty easily. And then you cover up with a small piece of tapes, as you can see over here. And actually doing in this way also allows you, I'm doing from the inside, and so you can kind of use the original one to kind of guide you where you need to put it. And again, spraying, no problem at all. So these are the cars after I sprayed. So this is the one that was all kind of masked up with some details on, and these are the windows. And the interiors, again, these are vacuum cleaner, the one that I do myself. And the other car is all black, or matte black should be. And I need to prepare it for, so this kind of base coat I need to, because I'm gonna do kind of metallic blue on top of it. And yeah, this basically is yesterday. So that's it at the moment. So I will update when I have kind of put decals and finish. I think this week, in a week time, should be done. That's it.
Gio, question.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Did you measure the guide lead on that car?
Not yet, Jim. Not yet. So I'm not done. I've not built the chassis yet. I will do some comparison as usual when I have a new car. I will do comparison with all existing GT3 that I have, and I will show. Should be a competitive car, I would say, because it is like it's as big, I think, as the Conti, and the guide is pretty forward, so should have a good guide lead. and there is not much weight on the back. Even though it's kind of a sedan, it's should be good car.
Alrighty, looking forward to progress. And Dewan's got his hand up. Are you ready, Dewan?
I suppose so. First, you
better be ready because you're on now.
Anyway, I want to first and foremost thank Mr. Garth for sending me some long-awaited guide items, which are the. I'll go ahead and screen share that. I think I am. What happened? There it goes. If you can see these things, they're kind of tight. But those are the aluminum, I'm gonna call it the wheel accessory to fit on the plastic wheels that Garth had sent me, because he had made some custom wheels for my.
Are they under plastic? Because all I see is like a weird plastic.
Yeah, you can kind of see it's the collet, right? The collet.
Okay. I guess that could be okay, but nonetheless, it is in the
insert for his plastic wheels.
Right. Yeah, it's like an aluminum collet. Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah, it does look very Star Trek though, Dewan. Awesome.
Oh, I'm trying to get my navigation socket. There it goes. Okay. All right. So that's that's a smaller version again, a different size of it. So that's what it is. And this is what is going in. Plastic wheel that he had made with the center line. And this is the process that I was going through and making it happen. These are a little small hand press to insert it in there. And there's a gap. Well, I just had to push it down until it was flush with the wheel. It took me quite a few attempts to get that. Sorry, I had to keep zooming in. I can't see it on this thing. Yeah, so I finally got rid of the gap. And oops, there's the final drawing. Oh, I don't have the final. I don't have the final one. Sorry about that. But nonetheless, it's I can stop my share here, and but it's kind of hard to see. But this is pretty much what.
Yeah, I think Wayne is having orgasm at the moment, looking at that stuff.
Looks like that tire is not sitting right though.
Oh well, the tire may not be on there. I just kind of like just put it up. Better. It's not.
But so Wayne should not have mounted so that collet has you can put a grab screw, right?
Yes.
So, but it seems that the hole for the grab screw is not aligned with the hole in the rim, no?
The wheel has two both sides. It's I'll try to open it up a little bit. You should be able to see I don't know if you can see it now, but you see how it has two, and it has a hole for the grub screw on one side. So it does. I have it lined up for the grub screw.
So it's aligned. Okay.
Yes, and I just got it. This all just happened within the past 30 minutes, so that's why I'm just kind of ad hoc showing you this. And I'm bringing up another subject in that we talked about this project about 6 months ago, and I had some suggestions on taking the plastic wheels, which are, using the white nylon or white material, and getting them with the polished aluminum effect that the actual center lines have. And so I had purchased some of these chrome pins, and I believe Dennis had suggested this fusion.
Oh.
And but I guess I'm getting to the subject is I need to go back 6 months and see what we talked about the best practices on making this happen.
Oh, Molotow, the Molotow that you have in the pens, that's the absolute best chrome.
I'm sorry, which one?
The Molotow pen that you have, I think it's called Molotow. That's the absolute, yeah, absolute best. I can show you on my Crusader 101. It'll do big surfaces, small surfaces. It is the best.
Yeah, you can also use paintbrushes. You can paint it on with a paintbrush as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can actually, to your point, Paul, if you get the refill, you're right. You can use it like paint, and it's basically you know, you can dissolve it with alcohol, I think. So it's just, it cleans up easily. It's the best. Here, hang on, I'll show you.
Yeah, but once you put it on, the shine will go away the instant you touch it. So
well,
just,
yeah, so you spray it with lacquer. Like this is a rear view mirror I did for the Crusader 101, and spray it with lacquer, something that is like counter to the Molotow, just to seal it. And oh my gosh, look at that! Like it's the best.
Okay, and that's exactly what I was talking. We actually discussed this about 6 months ago. And
oh yeah, listen, I okay. You want to really freak yourself out? Go to Worldwide Slot Car Chat number 11, and we're talking about brushless motors. Dude, we have not expanded our universe a hell of a lot.
Okay, well, that I guess part of what I was getting to is that we really do have a need to index some of our chats and try to be able to search through them so that I can. I know
for it, dude. You, it's all on you. You're the idea man. You just take it and roll with it. I did timestamps for like, I don't know, a dozen videos. So much work, just so much work. Never mind actually trying to take that information and make it some kind of useful, tabular, searchable something or other. But just sitting there, okay, when did that subject start? Is that a new subject? Should I start a new subject now, or waiting for the next sentence to come out of my mouth?
Some of the new YouTube tools, I wonder if the AI can do that work.
I haven't tried AI versions. They've done automatic chaptering for a while, but it's yeah, not reliable.
That is again.
Yeah, YouTube this before.
And
there's a painting expert that does a YouTube channel. His name is Barbados Rex. I mean, that's the name that he goes by, and he does a deep dive into these chrome finishes, faux chrome, or whatever you call this, polished metal finishes. And you go to his YouTube channel, look it up. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I
don't think that Wayne is at that level. So because that guy does like with the airbrush, and it's, I mean, for what Wayne needs, I think the Molotov stuff with some lack, whatever, it's not gonna be as shiny as without anything.
No, yeah. I have to say, for static modeling, bare metal foil is fantastic, but as you know, for anything that moves, don't use it. You know,
especially for a wheel. It's like, I mean, you want to do wheels, guys. I mean,
and well, the other thing, Dewan, is you know, Molotow and bare metal foil being very, very thin, they don't look very realistic when you put it on an uneven surface. So the wheels are not particularly smooth. So you may want to coat them. If you're going to use the Molotow, I would coat them in flat black paint first to try and smooth them out a little bit. And I would definitely 100% try a few tests on various lacquers. I have gone through lots of lacquers on Molotow. Most of them will dull the paint so it just looks like silver. So you may as well just paint them silver. The only thing that I found that really works consistently is Future/Pledge. It's an acrylic and it won't attack Molotow. Molotow is not a paint, it's an ink. And most clears will dull down that finish.
Okay, great, thanks for that. And you know what? This is again deja vu, because we did discuss all this, and now I'm glad you guys are all here. Everyone that talked about it before, and just refreshed my whole process. Thank you. Okay, that's all I have for now.
Well, the good news is, yes, we did talk about it before, and no, we are not losing our minds.
And yes, we'll probably end up
Said
talking
you.
about it again in a few weeks.
Speak for yourself.
I'm glad you're on here, Chris. I've done a little bit more work. I left the don't know if you can see that.
Mhm.
I thought I was going to go around and remask it and touch up that front, but then I thought no, because Dad's wasn't perfect anyway when he painted it. So, but that's the Le Mans decals on that, and they've turned out really nice. I even managed to get the stripe through the middle straight as well, which is the first.
Yeah, but did your dad?
Yes, he did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good. Then it's accurate.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I've got to do now is put PVA in the lights because it did have glass in the lights, but where that's all one piece of molded what John makes his stuff out of.
Resin?
I can't
Resin?
yeah, and it's also I had to stick it to the body because it was so flimsy to begin with. I couldn't get the lights in without messing them all up. So I shall just put PVA across it, and that will fill the light gaps in. Fingers crossed. I've got it done. I'm not walking out the garage now to go and get it.
Yeah, we'll do it next time, 2 weeks from now. All right. Anybody else got anything they want to show and tell? I got a little update on my friend.
Is Dennis on here?
He is on now. Yeah.
Yeah, Dennis is here today.
Dennis.
Yes, sir. Aha. All right.
Cool.
So, and there are your posts and inserts waiting.
Okay. I'll get them posted off to you.
All right. Did you send me your address, your mailing address?
I think I did.
So. No.
I'll redo it again later. I'll do it through Facebook, through Messenger.
Okay.
But no, they're all there. So
good. Oh, and while I'm unmuted, Jim, the guide lead on that BMW is 103 millimeters.
Great. Thanks, Dennis.
Okay, because I've got one of those white kits as well, and Gio's right. They come with two different sets of wheel inserts. Mine is the same. And I checked online at a bunch of different photos, and I can't see any example yet of them having both on one car. But so there may be a reason for it, but I don't know what it is.
Alrighty, I'm gonna do a quick share. The newest track for EMSA is pretty much done. This is the one that I've been showing the layout and other pictures of. He's done his banking of turn 1 and got all his borders in, got all the power taps in, got all his lane colors in. At this point, it's pretty much done. We just haven't raced on it yet, which that should be happening in the next couple of weeks here.
Greg, does it go in both directions or just one?
I think he currently has it only going in the normal direction for a King track. I don't know if he plans to put in directional switches, but he might. But yeah, that would just be weird on this layout. But yeah, you never know.
That's a nice layout.
Yeah,
it's a lot better than a regular King.
What brand of track is that, Greg?
That's Scalextric Sport. Yeah.
So how do you do the banking in that corner?
He just did a wood support, forced the bank in the wood support, and then just has the track. I don't know if he pinned the track down or glued it down or anything. I think it's just, gravity held down. It's only like 10 degrees. It's not even as much as a Scalextric bank, I don't think.
And pretty much a flat bank rather than a parabolic bank.
Yeah, it's very little banking, but enough. It doesn't take a whole lot for a car to be able to take it a lot.
Have you tried? Have you tested?
I have not driven on it at all yet. The last time I was there, I was helping him put together the first version of it, and I have not been back there since. He's just sent me pictures and stuff.
The only issue is going to be turn marshalling that little corner just before it goes under bridge there.
Yeah, I forgot to suggest to him to split up 2 and 3, or, you know, make a space wider between 2 and 3 so that a marshal can stand there. Maybe it should be.
But you guys race crash and burn anyway, don't you, Greg?
Yeah, but you still got to get the car off the track. So a marshal still needs to be able to reach in and grab it.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. I'm talking about the 90-degree just before it goes under the bridge.
Oh, okay, yeah. Somebody could stand right there and reach that. It's not.
So you're going to reach over the cars in the main straight.
Yeah, we do
and
that quite a bit.
reach in front of the drivers who are just about to come through the lead-on turn.
Yeah, but at least they won't have to get a grabber out to get that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Like Russ's track has a kink and a challenging corner right in the middle of his 8-foot wide routed track, and you just can't reach it from any side without a grabber unless you have really long arms, because on the straightaway side it's highly elevated, so you can't just reach over the elevated section to get to where cars crash.
How wide is this one?
This one is 8 feet wide, but you know, fully accessible, and there's
and what 20 to 16 or 20?
16, yeah.
Okay, nice.
I mean, this could be also nice digital track, like a 4-lane digital track. If you manage to squeeze in a pit lane. But I mean, yeah, I was looking at that because I don't know if I want to change my layout, but I mean, getting sick with the Scalatrix lane changer. But anyway, I mean, good job, man. I mean, I like your design there.
Nice. One thing you could have done would have been to put that 90 on top instead of underneath. In other words, so that the donut goes up rather than down.
Yep. I wanted to
down rather than up.
Down rather than up. Yeah. I think I made that suggestion a while ago, but he wanted to be. It just
he wanted it like a king track, yeah.
Yeah, it just did not feel right to him. So I was surprised he let that one turn back turn into a dog leg like that.
Yeah.
I was like, he wouldn't want to do that because that's unking-like, but he agreed that a little bit more, lane length was good for that.
Is he planning any scenery, or is it just going to be like the way it is?
It's going to be just kind of random fun scenery. Like he's got the blue section in that dog leg for water, and there's a Lego, I think it's a Titanic Lego model in there, and his kids are putting Lego buildings. I think he said he's going to do a Lego Coliseum in the middle of the donut, and then other things to decorate with, but it's definitely not going to be landscaped per se.
That'd be interesting if you one of those, because they'll have to rebuild it again after the race.
And crash into one of the Lego things. He might end up moving some Lego things around depending on how the actual racing goes.
Is he going to put anything on that bank? Is he going to, if the car's still launched, he's going to put something to stop the cars from ending off the track?
I guess we'll find out how badly we start launching cars off the table. That's certainly possible. At least he's got the electric fences. But since we drive magless, it's the cars. I think that the fence will probably do it. But yeah, there's going to be 1 or 2 missiles, I'm sure. So we'll see.
Especially with the grandkids, or if the kids get hold of it.
The kids will probably launch some cars. What do you want to ask, Karsten, sorry.
Yeah. While speaking on track, I have a question for all of you. Do you know anything about the polycar track system? Do you have anything to say about that? Because I race mostly on wooden track, and I have a wooden track, but I'm considering if it would be a good idea to have a polycar track.
So why do you want to switch to polycar from wood? Or what is the reasoning behind that?
The current track I have now is worn and needs to be replaced. So either I have to build a new wooden track, or I should maybe go with a plastic track system.
I mean, if you are used to wood, I would recommend you to build another wood track.
Okay.
I mean, plastic is always a compromise. I mean, and not because it's a polycar or any other brand. I mean, when you go plastic, you're gonna lose the smoothness that you have with the wood. You're gonna have the clicking sounds because there are more kind of joints. You're gonna have a magnetic interference that you don't have in wood. So depending how you prepare your car, I mean, wood is a completely different business. So if you can build one, I would say go for it. Otherwise, yeah, Otherwise, polycar, yeah, is an excellent track system. I mean, one of the best out there.
Okay. In our club, we have 2 wooden tracks and a Scalextric Sport track. But the lane, the distance between the lanes on the Scalextric Sport is not very good because we mostly race these 1/24 scale BRM type cars. So I couldn't go with Scalextric Sport for that reason. But
yeah. So what is the lane spacing that you have in your wood truck?
That's 10 centimeter.
Okay, so what?
100 meters.
So polycar is 90, yeah. So
yes,
it's
the
a
polycar is 9 centimeters or 90 millimeters. Yeah.
Yes.
How about the scale auto? Anybody?
Scale auto is even wide. Well, the polycar is 90, the Carrera is 100, and I think the scale auto is a little wider than 100, even maybe 105.
No. So basically, Carrera is 99 and scale auto is 100.
Yeah.
Okay. Call me a liar for a millimeter.
I do have some Carrera track as well, but I'm missing an inner curve to the Carrera track. It becomes very wide, very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In that case,
yeah, if you don't have the space, it's a problem.
If you're considering plastic to replace your wood and you don't want to lose what you have as far as lane spacing, then scale auto would be the way to go, because they have the inner turn and they have more outer turns, so you have a lot more variety in radius, and so your track can be a better track for the variety of radius.
Okay.
But it still has all the other track issues to deal with, you know.
What's the space? What's the footprint of your layout, current layout?
4 meters by 2.5.
Oh, okay. So, and how many lanes? How many lanes do you have in the wooden track?
4 lanes. I want a 4-lane track. Yeah.
You can probably closely replicate your wood track, unless you have a lot of really smooth turns. You could probably closely replicate your track with scale auto.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you like racing? I mean, switching between the wood and I mean, Scalextric's track. I think it's the worst of all that are out there at the moment. But do you like switching between the two?
On the wood track, I win occasionally. On the plastic track, they are beating me every time. I have never figured out why I cannot race on the plastic track. But maybe that's why I should have my own plastic track.
Well, I mean, do you win at your own track? I mean, do you use it for racing? So do you use your own track and do you win there?
Yeah.
So then don't go plastic because they're gonna beat you even in your own track.
Yeah, you have a point there.
Or you can get better. I mean, I don't know, but yeah.
So the other option would be to have both.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Build them one on top of the other, or something that you can, or one that you can lift to.
Okay.
With the plastic track, so that you can lift it up and then drop it down and race on that, and lift it up and race on the wood.
Yeah. Well, what I liked about the polycar was that you could get 4-lane track packages with borders on both sides for a reasonable price. And they have a big and a small package like that. And if you combine these two, then you have different size.
Yeah, and you can buy packages that don't have cars and things in them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they've done a very good job with that.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, so if you're gonna build your own track, right? I mean, maybe don't think. I mean, it's an investment, a long-term investment, right? I mean, even if you're spending a bit more, make sure that you get the right track that you need, right? Don't just go for whatever I have in the package, because at the end you might not need all those parts, and you need to buy still some other parts in order to make the kind of layout that you have, right? Especially when you're talking about a 4x2, right? I mean, there is very kind of a limited kind of layout that you can make. Right? I don't know. I mean, I don't know those packages, so I cannot really comment. Plus, I don't know the layout that you have, because maybe also could be an idea to see. But yeah, I think that the idea from that having like two different layout, maybe if you want to kind of experiment a bit more with the plastic. But again, when I race on Scalextrics and then I take my car, for instance, on Mingo, that is kind of a bit more similar, let's say, to what's called the Polycar, then I have to change the setup. And so if I'm gonna take that car then on wood, I have to change the setup again, especially at the front. Maybe that is, if you bring like a Polycar into the mix, then you guys are gonna have a 3 different type of a surface they're gonna race. So which basically, because it's wood, Scalextrics and Polycars, so which means that maybe you will need to kind of change that up.
That's the only reason that I would even suggest considering Scalextric is because there's already a Scalextric track in your rotation. So adding a Scalextric track won't add another car setup for people to worry about. And it would let you tune your car setup for racing on your track and the other Scalextric track. But then you'd still want at least something in wood to make sure you've got your car set up for the wood tracks that you race on.
Yeah. Plus, if you're racing 24 scale cars, the Scalextric track is, as you figured out, is not perfect by far.
Yeah, even for the smaller BRM 124s, it's barely.
It's doable. We do it every week, but it's tight.
Yes, yeah, it is doable.
Is all of your racing analog, Carsten?
Yes, yes.
Not a lot of strong reasons to go for a plastic track in my. I think it's going to be a lot easier and less money for you if you stick with your wood.
Okay.
Or build a new wood.
Yes.
I mean, are you building yourself with the wooden track, or?
Yeah. I've done that several times. So.
Okay.
The one I have now, I didn't build myself. It was a modular track built on several standard 2 by 1 meter, and then it had 7 sections that you could put together in different combinations. But the space I had only was possible to put in 3 modules, and it's simply not. It's worn out, so I need to build something. So that's why I was considering if it should be a plastic track this time. I hear you. Don't go that way.
Yeah, I would. Especially since you have experience building wood tracks, it's not such an issue.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other show and tell? Wayne?
No, I'm driving it. I know you can't see me, but I'm on the motorway system and I'm driving. I've been listening carefully for the whole show so far. I'm only interjecting when I got the opportunity.
Okay. Since I don't see any other people jumping up and down for show and tell, Mike, do you have show and tell or do you have Club Corner?
Well, actually, yeah, I have a tell. Actually, I had somebody contacted me on my YouTube channel about replicating my track. And I used your illustration that you've got to give it to him with the provisos that I've changed different things on that design. and he seemed real happy with that. So it'd be interesting to see if he comes up with one. I'd like to see it when he's done and see how he likes it.
Yeah, I like that.
Also digital.
Pardon me?
It's also digital track or analog?
I don't know. I assume it's digital because he's seen the digital, so I expect that it would be.
Okay.
So, because he wanted to reproduce it in Scalextric, and Greg had all the Scalextric numbers in there. So,
yeah, let us know if you get some pictures
Yeah.
of it or something.
yeah, it's Peter Lafrano, and he's in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh yeah, I talked to him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you hadn't given him the diagram but told him that I did it, he'd have just messaged me. He said, "Hey, Greg."
I didn't know he knew you, so.
Oh man.
But at any rate, I just want to let you know that your work has not gone unused.
Very cool. I love it. Thank you, sir. All right, and Marco put his hand up. What would you like to talk about, Marco?
Okay. Hi, guys. Just want to plug something very fantastic that happened to us. Chip Ganassi went to the store, the Chip Ganassi, and we had an interview with him on our podcast. So if you guys have some 30 minutes away, just take a look, because he literally told us that his racing team started as a slot car track that he has at his basement or garage. So it's pretty fantastic. The guy is now a friend. He came up with a lot of other guys, engineers, and a lot of guys from Chip Ganassi racing at the store. They spent a lot of money. He told me that we were lucky because he won both races, IMSA and the IndyCar with Scott Dixon. And he told me that it's going to be an annual thing for them to stop by at Electric Dreams. So pretty cool guy. I'm very happy and proud to bring those high status motor role guys to talk about slot cars. I think it's very important. Last year we brought Zach Brown. This year we brought Chip Ganassi. Peter Brock is on the way. John Morton was there. Mario was very close this year. So we keep doing this to promote the hobby and to cross with the real racing. And it's very close. It's very close. And I think this is the kind of stuff that we need to promote and bring more people and we get more people involved. So I just wanted to plug this real quick if you guys have some time. At the Electric Dreams YouTube channel, it's 28 minutes long and the guy's pretty cool, so it's worth the listen.
It's a great video. I loved it. Last night, this morning actually.
Thank you.
Marco, I see you've got some ringers coming for the slot at Nationals.
Yeah, that's another thing. Paul Gawralski was there. Justin Colvin was there. They're all interested.
Justin messaged me about what car to buy.
There we go. So yeah, those guys are big races at USRA and USRA and road champions and national champions. And I think that's another thing that we're doing with 1/32 scale. As 124, everybody's the same. There's no renewal. The group is shrinking. It's getting more and more expensive, and they just want to race. So this might be the path, because they're doing pretty good races and very competitive. It's very hard to get the best out of the car, and they start to no longer see 1/32 scale racing with prejudice, and they start to race with us.
Is that going to be on the plastic track this year, or is that still
No,
wood track?
no, in the wood track. Yeah.
There's going to be
the only difference between the nationals this year and last year is that we're going to have a spec wheel that is going to be anodized, so people don't trim it. We're going to have a spec tire, and we're going to have a minimum body weight, so we can kind of mix all the classes so people don't choose only one car and go with it. Other than that, same thing. We're going to have on the race format, we're going to open for 75 instead of 72. So the first three racers that qualify, they go straight to semifinal. And before we classify the rest to semifinal, we're going to have a rebound or a bump heat from 7th to 13th or something like that, so you guys can move up to semifinals. Other than that, all the same. There's a lot of things on the preparation for the race. It's going to be a bigger event. We're going to have bleachers inside of the store. We're gonna sell tickets the same time we sold last year, but more now. We're gonna have like an announcing booth. I'm trying to bring Ian and Doug from Magnetic Racing. They have a great channel, and trying to bring those guys to be the announcers. We're gonna have 2 people only dedicated to the broadcasting, and 14 cameras, improving that. So it's gonna be a pretty good event. Yeah, everything else is gonna be the same. You got a folder with your name, knowing what time you come to take your car. On the day before the race, after qualifying, you know exactly the time that you're racing, the time that you're marshaling. DJ, food trucks, all the stuff. It's the biggest race in America, probably the biggest race in the world, in terms of organization. Close to 75 people. Last year we sold out 3 months in advance, and we're gonna open for registration during the UK Slot Car Festival in May. That's it.
There's going to be a very good possibility of an RC world champion attending and racing too, but I can't tell you who it is yet.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. Just let him know that the registration is going to open May 12th, I think, 11th, during the UK festival, and first come, first served. I'm not saving to nobody, not even for Danny Sanson, who is here, and I don't see him for the past 4 weeks. He was dedicating himself to service. So you guys need to ready if you want to come. There's going to be a different way to make the registration too. It's going to be it's going to jump for $50, but you get a $30 gift certificate from the store if you show up. If you don't show up, you lost the $50. And then after the 75 guys come in, register, we're going to have a waiting list. But also the waiting list is going to cut like 2 weeks before, because I need to do a lot of materials with the name of the drivers and stuff. So prepare yourself. If you really want to come, that's going to be good.
All right.
And I hope you guys come, right?
Very cool.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Great segue into Club Corner. So if anybody has any Club Corner they want to talk about, raise your hand. Wayne had his hand up. I'm not sure if he wants to talk about clubs or show and tell or what. What do you want to talk about, Wayne? You got your hand up.
Well, I put my hand up because I noticed Marco come into the chat, and he actually already answered one of the 2 questions I was going to ask him. I think did you say you were going to come to the UK Slot Festival again?
That's a yes.
That was a yes. I thought so. And I wondered whether Electric Dreams had ever attempted to do any digital racing at their venue, whether they'd ever considered putting some lane changes into Samsung Raceway, for example.
Well, we have the plastic track with Polycar. We're very pleased about it. We're doing some scenery now. It's looking pretty good. Dennis didn't see it yet. I sent him a picture, but he wasn't at the store when they did it. There's more. We just add Randy's Dennis to the track, so kind of lay mark. Yeah. So landmark. So yeah, we as you guys know, we got the 2 old Bueno Park tracks, and that's something that I want to put up until the end of the year. My plan was July, but things got busy. But we have a building, we secure a building. It's 25-30 minutes away from the store, and over there we have more space for more tracks. And now I'm literally bidding. Ivan wants to put 1 scale auto track there. Carrera wants to put a slot car track there, and I haven't heard from Scalextrics. They don't like us very much, but yeah, we're gonna have space for 1 more track, and we're still waiting for Mauricio from Polycar to bring his lane changers, and we might have something there because his system, as far as I understand, you can keep going analog and have digital together. So as far as I know, so I will keep waiting for Mauricio to come up with his lane changers, and then we can install something there. But again, digital system, as far as I see, it's not something big on clubs to us in America. I know that it's huge in Europe, huge in Germany, but for us it's more like a home activity or a very small club activity. So I don't see the racers that we have now, which is a very good group, interesting on installing heavyweight digital chips or doing stuff like that. They're more up to performance and all that stuff. But that's my view right now, and that can change.
on your website, could you put the diagram of Samson Raceway up? So if somebody from our club wanted to come out there, we could build the track at our club and
I wish I
practice.
had. I wish I
You don't
had.
have that diagram?
It was
Okay.
a lot of creativity when we put that thing up. The problem with that is that we design in a flat, and then I want elevations for people could see, because if you see it's like a straight, and as soon as you put we fix the table and put the elevations, the track couldn't get close enough. So we had to fabricate one or two pieces, and it's still not 100%. We still have to do some work. It changed a lot with the elevations and the two bridges, and Bob Scott was there building the table, supposed to be super fit, and wasn't, and it was kind of our fault that we didn't take any calculations on the elevation.
Well, if you ever do get the scale auto track or whatever else in there, maybe you guys could show us how you do it.
Yeah. Ivan keeps sending us boxes of samples.
Yeah,
and like
enough samples,
getting
yeah,
boxes of track, and he's lobbying very well.
Well, just right now, if somebody comes out to your event, they don't know your track very well, they're at a little disadvantage. But if you ever held an event on that plastic track, they could build it at home, and then they wouldn't have that advantage would be gone.
Yeah. Well, the advantage on the wooden track, it's a different monster, because of course nobody can copy the layout at home, but we do offer a bunch of stuff for who are coming from outside. So we have like time with the specific practicing for people from out of town. I do not charge registration for who is out of town. So if you need to do the registration, but you get a gift card when you come back to race. We have spec tires, spec wheels, motors that are sealed. So now there's a minimum body weight. So the car is going to be very specific, and you don't have 25 different types of tires to try. It's only one, and you can do two or three different ways. So it's very limited for who come outside, and you have plenty of time to learn the track. As a matter of fact, I didn't told you, Jim, but Bogarowski was there, right? So we did the podcast with him, and I picked up a car to a Formula 1 from NSR, and I give like 5 laps and set up a time and say, okay, beat me. Took him 23 laps, and he beat me.
Who was that?
Paul Goronsky.
So yeah, the guy's fast. So I know that we're talking about a very experienced racer, but in a day or so you're up to speed, and then you don't have that much to worry about the car because everything's kind of spec. That's one of our thoughts when we put those kind of events together. So we're always changing here and there to make more realistic and fair for the ones that come up from outside.
Yeah, the track is not terribly hard. I mean, it's very challenging, but it's not super hard.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you again. Watch Chip Ganassi. It's pretty cool.
Right. Thanks, Marco and Wayne.
I think Marco needs to come along to one of those races, the kind that I do, and experience what endurance team racing on digital track is like, and maybe that will inspire him to attempt one back home sometime in the future.
Yeah, next year I want to go to the one in Holland. In the Netherlands, the Disca, right?
Yeah, come to Suzuka. That's a good one. You'll find that difficult.
And this year, while I'm on the UK festival, I want to go for the London Scholars Club, the one that is in a church or something, right?
Yes, yeah. Alan will take you down there.
Alan, yeah, I know they race on Tuesday, so this year I specifically postpone my return so I can go to that.
That's a large Scalextric, that one. Scalextric Sport painted.
Very nice.
I just want to say that when Wayne's distracted driving lawsuit comes up, I am not going to be available as a witness.
Okay.
All right, guys. I need to go.
It better be hands-free.
See you later. Okay, so
tomorrow
we can go ahead and segue.
Greg, one more thing just before I go. Thank you, Cars team, for helping with the countering problems that we had. I don't know what you guys are doing, but forget about any counting system. We've been using Cars team's Lap Master for the past 5 years on both tracks. the plastic and the wooden one, and it's fantastic. It's professional. He's always available for us. We never had any issues like grave issues, simple things. So if you guys plan to, I know it's a little bit more expensive than the other ones, but it's worth it. Just go for it. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're getting it up here now.
There you go.
Can we get a discount because we're on the chat?
It's a labor of love. I think I'm not making much money on that.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
All right. Thanks for coming, Marco. Anybody else have anything they want to ask Marco to talk about? He'll fill the rest of the time. He's competing with Wayne. Okay, moving on to Club Corner. Mike, you had your hand up first. Do you want to do your Club Corner?
Oh, sure. I'll do that instead of soldering. Just Ratby and me were racing Monday, and I did a couple of Maseratis, and I converted the slotted Maserati, and I converted the slotted Maserati back from its GT3 config, which I consider the angle winder assembly, to the sidewinder assembly that it was originally, so it's comparable to the other cars. With the sidewinder, it was about 0.3 of a second faster. So I converted it, but I didn't get a lot of development time on it. And it was quick, but not quick enough to overcome my stumbling. So we had a seesaw back and forth race and had a good time, and it was pretty good there. And let's see, what did we? Oh, we did British touring cars. We had the Scale Extric BTCC cars with the Honda and the BMW M1. So it was M2 and an M1. And I had the M1, and Ratby had the Honda, and I got a little bit more grunt, and it was enough to make a difference to take the win. So, but it was a good time, and we tried not to run over the ghost cars. It was more of a problem with the Maseratis, the slotted Maseratis, because they're just a bit tail happy. So getting ghosted was one of the problems. Is like you slide out and tap the ghost car, and the ghost car doesn't move, and you're done. So, but it was a good time. That's all.
All right, thank you, sir. Moving on to Mr. Sampson. What you got, Dennis?
Well, I've just come off of 5 or 6 days of racing at the USRA, what are called Scale Nationals. They ran between Tuesday and Sunday at Piranha Raceway. The races that I ran were 6 of them, 6 different classes, were all on this new flat track that we've got, which is called the Ascari flat track. For some reason or other, 1/24th scale flat tracks all get a name. Some of the, there was the Testarossa, there was this one is called the Ascari. Other ones have been called the Anaconda and the Chupacabra and all kinds of other weird names over the years. But this one was the track that was used for the World Championships last year. It was in New Jersey. The local raceway owner bought it from the raceway owner there, and we assembled it a little while back. I think I reported on that. And so we ran on this track. We ran 6 different classes on the flat track, pretty much all all steel chassis, although some of them, 2 of them were for stamped steel chassis. And then a lot of others for the spring steel Eurosport style chassis. 3 of the races, Eurosport 132nd, Eurosport Formula 1, Eurosport 124th, are open classes, so we were able to run brushless motors in those. And probably about, I would say, in 132nd Euro and 124th Euro, about 80% of the field were running brushless motors. In the Formula One class, maybe only a couple, 3 or 4, were running brushless motors because those cars are inline and they have no downforce because of the bodies. And so we're still really struggling to find motors with the right kind of torque curves and the right kind of performance to be really good on those cars. There were a couple of us had the 1105 or 1106 style motor that we use in the others. One fellow from Brazil had an 0802 motor, which is 8mm diameter and 2mm long for the stack inside the motor. So it's this tiniest thing you've ever seen. But he ran it in practice, but he didn't run it in the race. It was a good event. Basically, there was one race every day on the flat track, one race on the king track for a different class. There was the entries for the flat track racing were generally quite a lot higher than the entries for the king track racing, mainly because the local races don't race a lot of the classes that people around the country race on banked tracks. And so it was really only the visitors that were running those classes. So, but on the flat track, I think the smallest entry was 18, and that was for Eurosport 124th on Saturday, which was kind of like the culmination of all the racing. I didn't ever qualify very well. Always in the bottom 5 or 10. I raced a whole lot better than that. I managed to pick up places in Eurosport. I picked up 7 places because what happens is you run your race, but you're running in groups. Like I think we were 22 people in 124 scale Euro. So they ran 8 in the first race, 7 in the second, and 7 in the third. And I was in that third bottom tier of 7, but I beat 4 of those guys, and then I beat a couple of guys in the next one up. So I picked up 7 spots in that. Picked up 4 spots for the JRLs, 2 spots in Formula One. I dropped 3 in the 132nd Eurosport because I had some issues with the bodies getting sucked into the gears. You know, these things run with a very, very lightweight, 5,000ths thick vacuum formed bodies. And if they're badly turn marshaled, or if you happen to hit the barrier wrong, or you hit somebody, the chances are good that you can actually get the rear of the body caught up in the gears. And that just ruins the body. It ruins the gears. It sometimes ruins the car. So 132nd scale, I had quite a lot of trouble. I would show you the bodies, but they're already in the trash because they're completely hammered. But in general, for first national, I felt I did all right. And for running as many brushless cars as I did, I had absolutely no technical problems with the brushless cars. Other people had some issues, but it was mostly the combination of particular types of controllers, notably the third eye controllers, and the very high speed 124 scale Euro brushless motors. There were some guys who managed to blow controllers. I had a blown controller at one stage or so, I thought, until basically I found a loose wire inside it, which was fortunate. I didn't have any other damage. But yeah, a good event over Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days for me, 6 days for a couple of others who raced the last class on the Sunday. But people came from as far afield as Brazil, Canada, and then all over the US. A very nice event all around. So that's me for now.
Do you know if that was videoed or
it was? They tried to stream on Twitch TV, and the streaming one of my friends said to me afterwards, he says, we've been spoiled by Electric Dreams because the Electric Dreams coverage is so good and the USRA coverage was really pretty awful. The streaming tended to freeze every now and then on top of that, they do not have a PA system that's linked into the computer. So the streaming had no sound other than the sounds that were coming from Carsten's Lapmaster system. So we had the young lady telling us that it was end of stint and time to change lanes and things like that. But other than that, there was no sound whatsoever, and a lot of people complained about that. Plus, it's one camera, and just with an inset of the scoreboard, and it's suboptimal, I would say.
I mean, shame on Electric Dreams, man. They're just spoiling everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they are over the top, absolutely, as far as everything that they do, and you still have a good stream without 10 cameras and.
Yeah, yes, you can. Yes, you can. But even so, unfortunately, this one did not.
Yeah, no, just one static camera, no audio other than the RMS audio is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't quite good enough. Anyway, hopefully that will improve. The bar has been raised a long way, and people are struggling to catch up, I think.
But maybe Electric Dreams should write the book on how to stream.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Alan has done a great job for his tracks up here at Scale Racing as far as the number of cameras. But as much as I love the man, how he puts those cameras to use.
I haven't seen any of those, but yeah.
It's basically it's a screen with like one main camera taking up a third of the screen, and then all the cameras in little blocks around
it. Yeah.
And then sometimes it switches, and there's no real audio.
Yeah, Electric Dreams spent some money on that equipment, right? There's 8 cameras. There's a big switching box. It's all hooked in with audio. We get somebody to do the commentary, other than the race director, and so it's on a separate microphone, and it makes quite a difference.
Yeah.
But there's a free system called OBS Studio, which I think could do all of this.
Yeah, I have that on my home track when I do what's his name, Proxy races. I've done it. Yeah.
Well, as you say, Electric Dreams is a great example for people to follow suit, and hopefully we see that more.
Was that again OBS what?
OBS, Open Broadcasting System, something like that it's called. OBS Studio, OBS, Oscar Bravo Sierra Studio.
Alrighty, thank you, Dennis. And moving along, I think Jim was next. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, back to the Piranha thing, just real quick. They had one camera, which was fine. It's minimal, but it worked fine. Well, excuse me, they had one camera, and they had the inset with the computer, so you could see what was going on if it worked. It just never worked. They
seem to have a problem somewhere between the Twitch stream and getting that running, and then opening up the Lapmaster system. Somewhere they have a problem, and unfortunately, nobody in the building who was involved in the organization had any kind of technical or real technical knowledge of the problem. The raceway owner uses.
When it worked, it was watchable because the main thing was there. You could see the whole track and you could see the computer screen. But video is 30 frames a second, and we were getting 1 frame every 30 seconds.
Oh God!
So it was that bad. It was not watchable.
Yeah.
And you couldn't put a comment up unless you joined Twitch, which I didn't particularly want to do.
Yeah.
So I couldn't comment on it. So yeah, it was when it worked, it was okay, but it was beyond bad.
They probably need to get away from Twitch and go onto YouTube.
So anyway, we had some races this last weekend.
Mhm.
And in NorCal, we have quite a few tracks. Motown on the right is commercial track, which we're going to have a big race coming up in June. I'll mention that in a second. And one of our tracks is close to Santa Cruz, California. It's Glen Canyon Raceway. It's a mini Kingleman, if you know what that is, pretty much without a bank at all. So we had 2 races on one weekend, which we're running out of times because we have more races than we have weekends in the month. So we had a race at Glen Canyon on Saturday and the race at Motown on Sunday. And overall, we had 25 entries. I was the only one that went to both tracks because I have the time, and the tracks are about 100 miles apart. So a lot of people don't want to or are not able to run 2 races in one weekend that are that far apart. But we had 3 of our classes were common. So in Group 5, we had good grids in both Motown and Glen Canyon. And we're gearing up for the Revo Slot race. So we ran the Revo Slot Group 2s at Motown and Glen Canyon. Again, good 12, I think, in one and 14 in the other. So good grids. 25 people total raced in Northern California, just not at the same track on the same day. Third class we ran was Can-Am. And you can see, again, we got great grids. We had a Chaparral in the mix. So a good grid of cars. And then we ran 2 other classes. At Motown, we ran the GT3 cars, which we run both weekends at Motown. And at Glen Canyon, we ran the Revo GT2s. And because, again, we're gearing up for the Revo Slot race in June. And so we had a great weekend. Well, I had a great weekend. Somebody had to stink up the show. So I had one of the best weekends I've ever had racing in terms of the results. And so, yeah, except for that stupid Opel there getting a second, it was I got 7 out of 8 for the weekend. So like I said, it was probably the best weekend I've had results-wise ever. And we've got this race coming up. The registration is up now online. You can go and register. That'll be coming up in a little over a month. And we're running the Revo Slots, and we're going to have a BRM IROC race the night before on Friday. So racing in Northern California is good. We're racing at fast tracks this weekend on the commercial track. So a lot of stuff going on, maybe too much stuff going on, but you know, we've got tracks that want to race, and we've got typically 4 weekends in a month and 5 or 6 tracks that want to race. So that's it for NorCal.
Hey, Jim, do you have a designated hotel or housing set up?
For Modesto?
Yes. For
a specific one, no, but there's 4 or 5 hotels that are reasonably priced that are decent within 2 or 3 miles. There's Quality Inns. There's a couple of Marriotts. If you want to go low end, there's Motel 6s. So there's quite. We don't have a designated specific hotel, but there's reasonable rates at all those places. If you need a suggestion, just let me know.
Thank you.
Hope you come out.
It's a conflict right now, but I'm gonna see if I can work it around.
All right, good stuff, Jim. And Yuna, what would you like to share today?
Yeah, I just thought of this. It's a first for me. Yeah.
Hey.
So I won a first. I won a round of a bigger Proxy series for the first time.
And winning against some of those guys is a really big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. What's more interesting is that I think there's 17 thunder slots in this. In this class or in this series, and I did not use one. I beat all of those thunder slots with my own creation.
Cool. Well done.
Yeah. Well, this one, the body is really, really bad. You can see the interior is all messed up, but
legal.
We want to see the underneath, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can.
The driver looks kind of sus, like he escaped from the game Among Us.
Yeah.
The faster it
I
goes, the
know.
prettier it gets.
Do you see my CAD model?
No, we're still looking at the car.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. So I'm working on a new, or I'm not working. Another guy is working on a new interior for it. So the underneath is right here.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Nice.
But this one, the car I ran, the Proxy is running a slim can.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't find. Yeah, here it is. Yeah.
On that,
So
on that,
to run the slim can in this configuration, you can you just need to change the pod, right? You don't need to change the chassis.
Yeah, you can just change the pod.
Because the one that you showed at the beginning was a Sidewinder, right?
Yeah, I'm working on integrating that one.
Yeah, all right. So on that one, there are two pieces on the pod that project forward, and they have a little hole that correspond with the slot in the chassis. What's that for? Is it just a travel limiter?
Yeah.
Just ahead of those two little,
that's
ahead of the two
another
suspension
thing.
wings.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm working on. So you can put a silicone dampener there, so you can dampen the sideways movement.
Ah, the sideways.
And do you have
okay?
Do you have this? Do you have this in your Proxy car?
Not the sideways dampening, but I'll see if I can get a picture of the underside of the car, so I can show that.
And
because I used tape to achieve somewhat similar of an effect. So I'll show what I did there. So I used tape only at the front of the pod, so the rear moves freely. But it dampens the sideways movement.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So go back to the other picture. I mean, to the 3D model.
Yeah.
So the stuff that you have on the side of the chassis between.
Oh yeah,
the front.
That's part of the body. It's just
Okay. Yeah. At the beginning, I thought that they were like the way of mounting the body to the chassis, but then I saw that
these are just connected to the. This was to connect the body to the chassis for printing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, how many Proxy have you won so far?
Yeah, this was the first one.
Okay.
Well, the first big one. I went to the smaller Proxy where I won one round, I think.
Okay.
But that wasn't overly competitive. This one was.
So for general information, this car was the fastest car at round 0, and it only qualified, I think, 4th at the first round of the series, and then it proceeded to basically dominate. Only just, but it did it.
Yeah, but that's not dominate. That's just improving.
Now, the thing I noticed about the live stream was that most of the lap was taken at full throttle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was very revealing, and I think that leveled the playing field quite a lot to some extent. And I think that at other circuits where that's not necessarily the case, I actually think your car will stand out even further.
Yeah, I don't know. Something I actually noticed was my car had to lift off for the slightly banked sweeping corner, where others didn't.
I think that was a bravery corner. I think the driver on the outside lane, the track owner, he didn't always have the conviction to do it, but your car would do it. And when he did do it, that's when he got the very, very quick lap.
Really?
Yeah, I think I saw him do it. I think I saw him pin it and leave it there.
I don't know, but most of the cars I saw him going flat out, but there was a small lift with mine, possibly because it has more straight line speed.
Possibly, yeah. It was very good
Even
performance.
so, to have a quality time of 4.7 and the best lap in the race of 4.5, that's going a little.
Yeah.
Really well done. Well done.
I noticed the car watching the live stream, or it wasn't a live stream, it was just a recording. It improved quite a bit.
I probably
during
find
the first heat.
The track was better overall. It looks like
it started off quite equal with the car it ran next to, but during the first heat, it gained pace.
I think whoever was racing the car basically got more confident on it, because there is a huge difference between the quality time and the best laps. So instead, if you see it seems like the other cars, the quality time was lower than what they did the best lap during the race, except maybe a couple. But
true.
So, but
it was an exercise.
I think another thing
exercise in personal torture. They ran all the cars for 4.5 minutes on both lanes. It was quite a long process.
Yeah.
Another thing too, I don't think very many people are used to driving a fast car with the slim can motor in. They don't realize how hard they can push it. And in the course of a 4-minute or whatever race, you can start pushing and pushing and pushing and realize, hey, it'll take that corner faster than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe, although
it will be interesting to see when the best lap occurred, right? I mean, if they were like towards the end over those 50 laps for each lane, whether it was kind of improving, right? So because at the end of the day, the difference was 1 lap. So yeah, we did the second one.
What did Courtney send? You know,
mid-pack.
See that? What car did he send?
I think it was a Thunderflood.
Yeah. So, Jon, have you received any pre-orders for your car?
I have some people interested.
Yeah. So all you people in the chat, start pre-ordering this car.
Yeah. It's going to be available after Polycard.
After?
Yeah, because I'm getting the interiors at Polycard.
Okay, from team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think July 1st is when I'll have these available, and they'll have a much better interior. They'll have more detail, especially at the rear, and hopefully they're as fast these are now.
How's the Lola
what?
GT coming on?
What?
So how's the Lola GT coming on, Jonas?
I've done a bit of work on it. There's still a bit to do, but I'm hoping to get that one done this summer too, as well as a new car for a new Proxy.
Still a classic or something different? Which Proxy is it?
It's for 60s Le Mans cars, so it's not a Ferrari 312P because Ferrari does their things with licensing, but yeah, it's a 312P, not a Ferrari.
Nice.
Okay, nice.
Great job. Great job
Very
on the car.
nice.
Great job on the tuning. Great job on those drivers. Yeah, takes all those things to make a good result. And thank you for sharing. And looks like Gio's got his hand up. Go for it.
Okay, so I haven't done this for a while. I mean, we have been racing different classes. What has changed? So we lost one of our driver. So Terry has something else happening on the Wednesday. So we are one driver down, but I gained a lot of the chips, controller, cars. I mean, so it gave everything basically to the club. So this helped me also to kind of chipping other cars for club, which I'm going to talk a bit later. What else? So the car you see here, the McLaren. So this is McLaren, an NSR McLaren is basically just the body of NSR McLaren. I'm running SR. So these are for Alex. So I put SRP chassis, and the car basically is incredibly fast. So for future reference, do not buy a full NSR car. Just buy the body if you need to, and then put another kind of chassis if your rules allow for GT3. And I switch cars, so I put the Scale Auto Acura on the side, and I'm running these sideways Lexus. I believe that I've shown here what it is and how I build it, and then the rest basically more or less is not changed too much. So this was the lineup for the practice. So we went to practice, and these are the results. So when I changing the the chassis for Alex car, the car became super quick and has been dominating. So I was pleased to see that the Lexus was keeping up with the Alex car. The track was also quite slow. So here we're getting into winter, so it was pretty cold, and I think a bit of mess up with the grip. So then we moved on to qualify. And again, these are the lineup. And my hope that my car was going to be as fast as Alex were just shattered the last 10 seconds of the 5 minutes qualify. So where both cars were for doing the qualified time were running similar 5.76. And then last 10 seconds, he managed to squeeze a 5.58. I don't know where the heck that lap came out. So this car is gonna be a quicker again. I mean, no way that I'm gonna win any races. And then the McLaren that Jan raced sideways, also pretty close with the Lexus. Good for combi to do a 5.9, which was good. And then James with the Lamborghini was 6 seconds, which again is pretty. I mean, James is getting really fast and consistent actually. And this is kind of stock Lamborghini, so I need to kind of change a couple of things, like putting the Lexan interior and maybe tune a bit better the front tires, which then I think is gonna be also a pretty good contender for podiums. Okay, we'll line up for the race, for race 1. We had very few crashes, basically. I mean, everybody was really on point, and the final results are here. So as you can see, okay, so my fastest lap is a 5.64, is a fake lap, so I come off at the end of the main straight and registered that. I think I was doing a 5.8 or something like that. So as you can see, Alex's car is much quicker. So I mean, I'm preparing these cars, right? So I think Alex motor, it's a sideways Baby Raptor, has a huge amount of magnetic force. In fact, at the beginning, when we have reduced power, this guy is pretty slow, so he can barely keep up with the Combi and James Sport, basically. But then after we goes over the 50% barrier, I mean, over the fuel tanks, so power start to go up. I mean, his car start to become very quick. So at the beginning of the race, I was in front of him. And then what happened is that he had to kind of do the first pit stop before me, and I was out doing laps. Other people were crashing, and so because I don't stop the or the software does not stop the refueling and change the tires while there is a truck call, it gets basically I was getting the pit stop for free, let's say, right? Because while everybody has to put the car back in, and I'm out there trying to push people to not to crash, is doing this stuff. And at the end, this cost me like 3 laps. So I said, okay, no more. So what I did was for race 2, I changed my strategy. And so there's a lineup. So starting second, and you can see the other guys. And for the second race, actually, I changed the strategy. And what I did now is for the first pit stop, when Alex is going in, I go in as well, even though I have extra fuel or whatever. And so what allows this to happen is that I can still maintain a bit of lead on Alex. And when we go out, then we are either I'm a bit in front or he's in front of me, and then we can battle. No, I'm not gonna lose 2 or 3 laps because he's getting the free fuel stops. And so this kind of equalize. Again, his car is still quicker than mine, but we're doing this, the racing then becomes super close. Even though I messed up on my second pit stop that I put fuel that wasn't required, so I had to do splash and dash towards the end, but still kind of race close. Jan is a bit of a mare with the truck hole, with the coming off, so 6 damage points there, so I need to kind of repair. And Combi and James very close between each other. I think they were battling for in terms of changing laps at the end to kind of get one on top of each other. And so I used the same tactics of coming in when Alex was going in for all the other races. And as you can see, okay, so here I think he messed up with his fuel stop. But then the race was become very close. So kind of I got the lead at the beginning, and then he's kind of starting to kind of gain towards the first pit stop, and then we switched maybe a position during the second chunk of the race, but then kind of come up again in front if I don't make a mistake. So like this one, for instance, no damage points at all. He had just 2, so it's kind of much more stable. So shit, I stopped sharing. Anyway, so the last race was kind of similar as a kind of come up for, and the difference maybe was it just one lap. And so as I said, we had so few crashes because everybody is on point that normally we finish around the 10 o'clock in the evening or a 10:15. We finish up past 9, so half an hour or 45 minutes before normal time. So with the 5 people that are on point, we have too many crashes. The races are pretty quick. We had the cramps because these races are 40 minutes. So you keep going without stopping for big chunk of time. Almost like sometimes it can be 1.5 minute, 2 minutes without no crashing. And you can feel on your forearms. So good training for the 24 hours, but yeah, so pretty intense. Like good. I mean, it's good racing. That's all.
Yeah, track calls suck, but they're a necessary evil. But it's definitely nice when there aren't any crashes and you're just driving around for a bit. Analog or
Yeah,
digital?
I mean, yeah. But we get to the point where you really ask people, can you crash, please, or someone crashes, or you crash it because your forearm cannot take any more. Yeah. I mean, and maybe I can share this other thing over here. As I said, did I share? No.
Yeah.
Coming up. So yeah. So we are kind of. I got a bunch of sideways Group 5 cars. So some of these are like seconds, so you get a bit cheaper. Many of them are coming from Evotech in Spain. Others are I bought locally, kind of second hand. So I managed to have so these are second copies, let's say, or I have like doubles of these that are in box untouched. So these are kind of double cars that I have around, or sometimes only the body, and I kind of chip them all, and they are stock. So flat 6, stock pod, stock wheels, stock tires. Just the only things that kind of change are just the brakes because the stock ones are really crap. And so I chip them, right? Really quick chip. So I'm chipping, so nothing kind of major. And the idea was that Alex, myself. So Alex has this blue Porsche over here, which normally on wood track when we race analog, they are not the best cars. I mean, the best are these M1s down here. So I give M1s to the, let's say, slower guys. And so this is this BMW. I don't know what it is, 2002, but I don't know. I mean, so this BMW, this Porsche, this BMW here, the orange one is for Jan. This Porsche here, again, it's not a super performant car. It's for myself. This one has a huge ass on the back here, and this Alex. So the idea was to try to have the quickest guys, usually the one get third. I mean, the podium, so getting like the slower of the class and give others the. But actually, it didn't work out. I mean, freaking Alex, this car, I mean, this blue Porsche up here, it's so freaking quick. I mean, it's like 0.2 of a second quicker than anybody else. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just the motor, or maybe because being not that big, it's kind of very agile across. I mean, going through the track, the twisted track. Yeah. So I haven't tested this one. So this one, the blue Ferrari over here, the 512 was for James. Managed to make it, so I don't know how this is gonna perform. I've not tested myself. I need to see what kind of laps, but it's a good class. So I kind of it's nice line up when you put on the truck. They look good. I mean, one of the things that I'm gonna do is slowly installing the lights whenever I can. Alex basically, as I say, dominated the bloody races, all of them. I mean, there wasn't a chance. I mean, getting close. So you can see 6.6, and all the other were 6.8. And you can see also that the other guys with M1s, they were getting kind of close. If it's like 6, 8, 7. I mean, this is 8 racing, the new mic. And then the other thing is that I did, instead of going completely dark, we went like semi-dark conditions. Still, you can see the cars, but it makes a bit different, a bit of difference. And yeah, so a good plus.
Yeah.
We have like also I kind of I don't know if I said this, but I bought like a bunch of Revo slot white kit, and I gave the group 2, and I gave to the guys for Christmas to build and stuff. we have a problem with oxygen and the double laps or shorter laps. I don't know if I mean I've changed all settings or whatever. I've been even moving chips to the car. I think that the what's called the metal chassis is messing around with the oil sensor. And the thing is that when it's like one or two, I tested like with a couple of cars, reverse load cars, right? I mean that I usually run with the others. So I put as not ghost car, but I put the controller in ghost mode, right? So I set like a fixed speed, and then with the RCS O2, they start the beginning, but then they count the lap. They behave as kind of a normal, almost space car, and then I go around. So with the 3 cars, no double laps, no short laps. But then when I got to more cars on the truck, 5, 6, then they go nuts. So, and it's like I don't know what to do. So, and these are B1, B2 chips with the normal oil sensor. So I don't know if I have to open a full hole in the chassis and make the oil sensor see through. I don't know what, and I'm using the last firmware, the latest one, the 310, the one that where they said they fix these short laps. So it's not that. So I really don't know.
Well, hopefully that gets figured out soon. All right, 7 minutes. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about? Apparently not. Let me check the YouTube, see if anybody has anything. No. Oh, my friend Chris, who I showed the track off earlier, he happened to catch the bit of the show that we were talking about it, and he's gonna have a test and tune this weekend. So maybe I'll be able to go and hop on his track this weekend, and I'll get some more pictures and video and stuff like that. Otherwise, I think it's like 3 weeks before either 2 or 3 weeks before we race at his house. So anyways, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, talking of upcoming races, there's a Formula One race at Electric Dreams on Saturday. That's NSR 86, 89s and the similar scale auto cars. We run them together, all with the NSR motor. There's a retro race there's a big retro race at Piranha this weekend too. The John Sucres Pete Zimmerman Memorial event starts Thursday, I think, with stock cars on Thursday, and Friday there's a couple of other classes. Saturday is Formula One retro, and Sunday is Can-Am. I won't be racing those. There's a little too much racing left at the end of the money this month. Yeah, it was an expensive experience last week. $20 a day pit fee, $35 per class entry for the non-Eurosport entries, $70 per class for the Eurosports. And so by the time you've done 6 races, and you're in for a good couple of hundred.
That's a few hundred.
Yeah, it was. I knew it was going to be an expensive thing, and I wanted the experience. So it's, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that was what it was all about. But at the same time, as I say, there's way more racing left at the end of the money this month than I can handle.
Dennis, did they run an A main in any of those classes, or was it just heats?
Most of the racing is what they call an all mains format, where everybody runs in their own group.
Yeah, like
as you qualified, and then the overall result is taken from those results. In the Eurosport classes, you run all the heats, and then the top 8 go into a final. So Eurosport 32, Eurosport Formula One, and Eurosport 24 all had a main final at the end. And
remember who won?
The Eurosport 32 was John Waller from Canada. Eurosport Formula One was Walker McNulty from North Carolina. And Eurosport 24 was Luca Bernardino from Brazil, Gugu's younger son. But all three of them were barn burner races. They were really, really good.
It's different than RC. Different than RC race. RC racing, you have to be a United States or a ROAR member. You can't be from out of the country.
Yeah. Well, these guys are all USRA members, but there's nothing.
You have to be a resident.
Yeah, there's nothing there that says that you have to be a resident. No. Yeah. There were three guys came from Brazil: Gugu himself, his son Luca, and one other fellow, Ricardo Carneiro, who knew Marco when Marco was a kid. So that was quite interesting.
We had one entry coming in from Barbados for the Rivet race.
Okay. And Paul Goronsky, who was a Northern California guy, now lives in Arizona, multiple world champion and multiple national champion. He was there with his son from Arizona. Rick Dodge came in from Arizona. There were two guys in from Canada, John Waller and a fellow by the name of Nate Teleskovich, who runs the track down in London, Ontario, the raceway. And guys in from the Northeast, a few guys in from Nevada, from Texas. I don't think so. Georgia, a couple of guys as well. Maryland, two guys. So yeah, it was a reasonably national event, but it could have been more, I'm sure.
On that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. So until next week, everybody wave bye.
Nice one.